Hello from me, Bob Gill, ARC Advisory Group General Manager for the Southeast Asia and Australia regions. I'm based here in Singapore, and I'm pleased to have with me from Australia, John Watts, who is General Manager for Optrix, a technology company that aims to transform industrial data into operational insight. So a warm welcome to you, John, and thank you for being with us here today.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bob. Really nice to see you again. Looking forward to the discussion.
Great. Yeah, me too. So perhaps we can start by you telling us a little bit more about your role at Optrix and some of your career history before joining the company.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess starting at the end, if you like, I'm currently, as you mentioned, General Manager of Optrix. We're an Australian software company, as you mentioned, focused on providing operational insights to industrial customers, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that. So my role as General Manager is really working with the owners to set the strategy for the company and execute on that strategy and get our products in the hands of more industrial customers to help them with their operations.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I guess you asked about my career history as well. So it's a little bit frightening, actually, Bob. I worked out the other day. It's almost 30 years that I've been in the automation and process control industry, mostly working for large multinationals in commercial roles, business management, marketing, sales, etc. I spent 15 years of that, as you know, in Singapore, in various Asia Pacific leadership roles. So I got quite a lot of exposure to the Asian markets as well. And the rest of my time has been based in Australia, which is home.
Okay. And you've been with Optrix for how long?
Been with Optrix for 9 months.
9 months. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get into details into Optrix, Australia probably gets a little less attention at ARC than some of our other regions that we cover around the world. So I'm curious to know how things are going with the Australian economy, particularly around manufacturing and mining.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, actually, because it's not a simple answer. I think that I guess outside of manufacturing and mining, everyone's talking about interest rates and cost of living, and it's probably the hot topic elsewhere. And of course, that has its implications, particularly for manufacturers. The Australian manufacturing industry, it's kind of been it seems to have been on the precipice of a downturn for the last couple of years, but it's never really happened. It just keeps chugging along. And but there is this attitude of things might get worse. And some of the predictions are for negative growth in manufacturing in the next couple of years. But it seems to be largely held at bay the last couple of years. And people are definitely busy. There's a lot of activity, not so much capital activity, not so much plant expansions, but a lot of work going on. And I think mining's a little bit similar, but for different reasons. Anytime there's concerns in China, they flow through pretty quickly to the resources sector here in Australia. But then there's upside as well. There's all the EV industry and all the minerals that they need as providing new opportunities. I guess the bottom line, whether manufacturing or mining, is there's a strong trend around optimizing your existing assets and really getting the most out of them in preparation for what might be ahead in the next couple of years, which is a little bit bearish, I guess.
Okay. And mining is still a huge part of the Australian industrial economy. Is that would be correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Much more so than manufacturing. Manufacturing is largely consumer products for consumption within Australia, just because of our location and shipping costs. But mining, of course, is the backbone of our economy for sure.
Right. Okay. So this Optrix promise to transform industrial data into operational insight. I mean, that would seem to indicate, just reading that tagline, it would seem to indicate that we have a problem utilizing all the data that we can now collect, which is a lot more data than we could collect 20 years ago or even 10 years ago.
I think the the problem, or perhaps to put a positive spin on the opportunity, is a lot of customers have been through certain elements of digital transformation in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
Typically, and it's not true of every customer, but typically those transformations, if you like, have happened within specific functions: supply chain, operations, maintenance, etc. And so what you end up with is a lot of data in what you might call sort of esoteric role-based systems. So the maintenance system is all digitized. Your operations and control is all digitized. But if you want to look at how your plant is performing and you need information from multiple different functions, it's really difficult to get at that information and to understand it in a common language. So that's where we see a big opportunity. And when we talk about operational insights, that's really what we're looking to achieve, is to bring together all these disparate data sources, organize it by assets and the relationships of those assets, so that you can then easily analyze the data, perform machine learning on the data, visualize the data, and therefore make fast decisions to improve productivity and quality and so on.
Right. So getting into the heart of this, so presumably Optrix has some solution to transform this data into what we need, which is valuable operational insights.
Yeah, we do, funnily enough.
Right.
So we have our flagship product is a software suite called ARDI.
Right.
So ARDI stands for Asset Relationship and Data Integration. And I guess if you think about those two things, the data integration part is really what we just talked about, and that is bringing together multiple data sources. And most of the customers we work with are already fairly mature in their technology platforms. They'll have fairly extensive automation. They'll have data historians. They'll have maintenance systems, etc. So we really act as the middleware, if you like, to bring all that data together. And then the secret sauce then is really the asset relationship side of it, how we organize that data by assets and the relationships that asset has. And any asset has multiple relationships. It has the process flow. It'll have an electrical relationship. It'll have a relationship in terms of equipment manufacturer or what type of valve it is or whatever. There's various ways in which you can categorize assets. And ARDI allows you to do that in multiple different ways. And once you've got that platform, it becomes really easy to use that data to get to the operational opportunities that you might have to improve.
And this solution, ARDI, are you targeting any particular industries?
So we have kind of historically worked mostly with process industry customers, but that's partly a function of where we're based, and so most of our on our doorstep we've got mining customers, we've got metals processing, we've got utility, renewable energy type customers. So they've been our primary target. That said, the concepts of ARDI can really be applied to any industrial customer that has disparate data sources that aren't connected, have difficulty structuring their data and getting at their data. So we've started to work with quite a few companies in the consumer products, food and beverage area as well. And ARDI is also quite scalable. So we're actually finding quite a bit of interest from equipment builders as well. So not just end user customers.
Right. Okay. So it will be relevant across the process, hybrid, discrete spectrum. Would that be correct?
Yeah. So we're very strong in process and hybrid, I would say, at the moment. Some of the way in which we process high speed data is kind of useful for process industry. So I'd say more process and hybrid than discrete. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. So John, you may have touched on this just now, but let me see if we can emphasize this a bit more, because it's quite likely that an end user, a target customer of yours, will have existing control and information systems in place already. So
Yeah.
where does RD actually fit into the architecture? One, and
Yeah.
is it intended to replace current dashboards and HMIs that these companies may already have?
Yeah, so I guess to answer your last question first, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, we every customer we work with has existing SCADA HMI. Most of them have a historian as well. So we're definitely not looking to replace those systems. But if you think about those systems, they're designed for a very specific purpose. So
Right.
SCADA HMI control systems, it's real-time operations, responding to alarms, keeping the process under control. It's not really designed at looking at shift versus shift performance. It's not looking at product versus product, how the plant performed last week versus this week, how it performs on a hot, humid day versus a cold winter's day. So some of that data is available in historians, but is not often used for that level of analysis. So from an architecture perspective, I think I mentioned earlier, we're true middleware. So we have a relatively small infrastructure footprint required. So we don't replicate all of the data. We simply go and grab the data as is required from historians, control systems, and all those other data sources, including non-time based data like manuals and operating procedures and those sort of things, and bring it all together and organize it by asset.
Right. Okay. And I guess the question that I just asked you would be a question you probably get from prospective customers. They're trying to understand exactly where does this fit in and how do I deploy it in my situation. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that when ARTI was first developed, there really wasn't anything in the market, but now there are more and more of these kind of data hub type solutions, which actually helps us to explain what ARTI is, but it's also a little bit different. We're much more focused on helping people that can make decisions in the field and at the plant. So production, process improvement teams, field operators, maintenance, people that can actually use the data, not just funneling that data up into the boardroom.
Right. So very strong OT focus then.
Yeah.
Okay. I was reading also that, and I understand there's an augmented reality aspect to RD, which I think sounds quite interesting. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I guess we've talked quite a bit about the data consolidation capabilities of ARTI. What we haven't talked so much about is what you do with that data once you've brought it all together.
Right.
So we have a range of client tools which allow you to do web reporting. We have a 3D virtual environment tool, so you can build from a 3D CAD model of your plant and populate that with the ARTI data and visualize it. Put filters over that data to look at which motors are running, which valves are operating, so on and so forth. And then you mentioned augmented reality, which is another good use of. Augmented reality allows someone in the field, a field operator or a maintenance person, particularly someone who might be new to site or a contractor who's not used to the site, who doesn't know where all this information resides. They can go out with their tablet or their phone, scan a code at the device in the field, and they've got real-time data, historical data, access to manuals, access to safety data sheets, the ability to navigate upstream and downstream. So you're at a pump, you want to isolate it, you want to know where the circuit breaker is, you can find the electrical relationship of that pump and go to see it. So it's really about, the AR tool. One of our, a number of clients that I just mentioned is really focused on empowering field personnel to do their jobs more effectively.
Okay. That's interesting. So you have various, if I could say, destinations for that data. Is that would that be correct? Once you have the data.
Correct. So and they're all sort of contained within ARTI. One thing I didn't mention, we also have some machine learning tools, and that's something that's becoming much more prevalent in the discussions that we have with our customers. And when you think about it, machine learning or AI is built on getting as much data as you can together and interpreting it. And so because ARTI is bringing together all these different data sources, it makes it a very rich platform from which to derive your machine learning models. And so we do that within ARDI. And then, of course, we also have the API interface to send that data to your business systems, to other applications, back to your historian if need be as well.
Okay. So yeah, that's the theory, and that's the product information, solution information. Well, I think what would be really interesting to know is if you can discuss some real life applications of ARDI, some case studies, and especially the kind of benefits that companies are gaining from adopting ARDI.
Okay. So So I guess one first example I can think of would be a steel company with a paint line, and they implemented ARDI on their paint line. Now, like a lot of our customers, as I've discussed, it was a fully automated paint line, had a very good high-speed historian that was capturing a lot of high-speed data, but they still weren't able to really understand where the opportunities were to improve and why they were missing opportunities. They weren't running at full utilization. There were some quality issues, and they were having real trouble trying to identify those issues. So by implementing ARDI, bringing together not just this historian data, but they had some specialized measurement equipment. They had other, shift data, operator data, etc. They were able to get this rich view into what was going on with their paint line. And among several benefits, one of the benefits they were able to uncover was the ability, without any loss of quality, without any impact to cost, to run the line 8% faster and still maintain or even improve quality and performance. So that's basically an 8% utilization upside that they weren't able to uncover before they put ARDI in. So that's one example, more a process improvement type example. Another example, I mentioned that one of our client tools is a 3D virtual environment tool. So one of the areas that ARDI's been applied is in underground mining. And if you think of the environment in underground mining, even if you've got people down there, and obviously you want to minimise the amount of people down there from a safety perspective, it's very hard to see what's going on with your equipment. It's dusty, it's dark, the equipment's large. So what ARDI can do is help you build a virtual digital twin of that equipment that you can look at and understand in real time as it's operating from the surface, away from the literal coalface. And then use that to make operational decisions, to identify maintenance issues, and also when there has been an incident to replay that data in ARDI, either in fast time or ultra slow speed, to work out exactly what happened and uncover areas of improving your maintenance and increasing your uptime. So there's a couple of examples. So
all right, okay, that's good to know. Right now, it seems that Optrix and ARDI are quite Australia-centric. But I mean, given your mission, also another tagline of yours I saw was to spearhead the Industry 4.0 revolution. So given all that, I mean, I'm sure you have ambitions outside of Australia for the future.
Absolutely. So I think the marketing guys got to that one, the spearheading comment. But and I'm a marketing guy, so it wasn't me. But so we're an Australian company. Most of our installations are here. That said, we do have installations in Asia and the US. But as I said earlier, we do believe that we fill a gap in the market around bringing digital transformation to people that can really use this data to help improve production beyond the boardroom decisions, which are also important, but not really where ARDI's focused, as we talked about. And so that really applies to pretty much any market globally. So we're a technology company. We're not an implementation company. So we're looking for partners to help us expand into other markets. But we definitely want to take ARDI ultimately global. But we'll pick our bets on certain markets and address those first. But yeah, ultimately we hope that Artie can help industrial customers with their operational insights around the world.
Okay, that's good to know. And if someone who's watching this wants more information, wants to know more about Optrix, wants to know more about Artie, is there the way that they could do that?
Yeah, for sure. So probably first place would be to go to our website, www.artie.com.au. Otherwise, through you, come back and contact me directly. There's contact information on our website. There's also some good information on everything that I've talked about today. So that would be the best starting point. And otherwise, I'm on LinkedIn as well, and people can reach out directly to me that way. We'll work just fine too.
All right, so that sounds good. Well, John, I really want to thank you very much for your time today and sharing all this information about Optrix and Artie, and also where you've gone since we met when you were at Rockwell Automation.
Yeah, yep. I'm still here.
All right.
It's lovely to speak to you, Bob, as always, and appreciate the opportunity to talk about what we're doing. We think it's pretty exciting.
Thank you very much. And so we have been speaking to John Watts, General Manager for Optrix, and thank you very much for your attention today.